My name is Nathan Griffin. Nathan Lloyd if I'm in trouble. Nate for short. From Tulsa, Oklahoma. Traveled quite a bit. I played baseball. So I lived in a lot of different cities playing baseball through, college and then some professional baseball. And I played in junior college at NEO in Miami, Oklahoma. So I played 2 years there, and then I went to Oral Roberts University of all places in Tulsa. I'm from Tulsa, and they had a great baseball team, but I was really hesitant to go there because I knew it was a Christian school, and I was like, I'm not going to fit in. I'd never felt comfortable in church. I genuinely disliked Christian. I mean, truly, my identity was baseball. I was like, I can just go. I can play baseball. I won't even have to worry about the other population of students. I have no idea. There may have been some believers on my baseball team. I don't know. We said the Lord's Prayer before every game. I couldn't see Christ in Christians, and my time at Oral Roberts did not help. I didn't realize how in the dark or dead I was until I became alive, if that makes sense. So once I'm truly just born again, new person, I see Christ in Christians. I do. I see Christ in Christians that are even acting holier than thou or self-righteous. I just know that they're on a different stage of their journey. All you can see, for me, all I could see was myself. I truly was just selfish. I had no humility. If I was wrapped up in what I did and I was good at it and I wanted to be the best at it, then I was obviously better than everybody else. So it didn't lend to any humility. It truly was a lifetime journey. There were times I even prayed a prayer and said, God, I believe you, you're there, your son, I get it, but it just wasn't ever transforming. Or if it was, I quickly nullified it by my behavior, A typical athlete lifestyle, man. I practiced hard, I played hard, and partied harder. Part of my story is when I got released from playing for the Yankees in their minor league system, I was devastated. My identity had become a baseball player, and all I was going to do was be a professional baseball player. I didn't have a backup plan. Well, when that got, ended, I didn't know who I was. In hindsight, I look back, it's just part of my story. It's not something I'm proud of or anything, but it is who it is, The beautiful part of it is God kind of used my disobedience in such a beautiful way, the biggest part of my story leading up to hope is God have centered around my wife. I mean, if I ever saw, Christ in a Christian, it was her. Her patience with me through our marriage has been awesome. I think she always knew that, I wanted to know Jesus. I really did, but I was just in my way. And if she was patient with me long enough, I would come around. So we get pregnant with Sawyer, and I don't know, there was an immediate change in me, coupled with she came to me early on in the pregnancy and said, look, if we have a kid, I want to raise him in a church. So we tried a few churches, and when we went to Hope, that it just worked. There were resources for me to plug into with, they're gonna scout me for saying this, but the old guys on Thursday morning, when we first went to Hope, those are the guys I went to, because becoming a new dad, I wanted wisdom. I wanted knowledge. I just wanted to be around guys who'd done it, These guys get it. They're just committed to just reading about him and knowing him. He's in the book, So that was, God moving some things away from me that were causing me to stumble, and it was great. Lonnie saying she wanted to go to church, us finding Hope was just a catalyst for me to dig in.
As long as I've known you, this has been the case, but particularly those first number of months where you had Hope, you asked a lot of questions.
Yeah. It was investigation still. It was a big part of me to see if the very people proclaiming him believed it themselves. Whether I was talking to you or Bill or Mark, or Steve or Shane, anybody, or even some of the guys that I got hooked up with in some of the small groups, I was starting to believe, but I needed to make sure that the guys talking about it did too. But what I could see in everybody was you guys had done that thought process too. Like I wasn't the only one who had those questions, so that was important for me. There was their humility there that you weren't just born knowing them, you know, like you had to search them out yourself. So
you have a gift, I mean, maybe you would say of evangelism, a gift of just going and talking to people about Jesus.
You know, in my previous life, you know, like you said, gifts, you know, I mean, I genuinely disliked people. I really did. I didn't really want to be around people, but I had become good at it. I could fake it. Somehow God has used that, but transformed me to where I genuinely love people now. It's kind of weird. I love them, all of them, everybody I meet, even the people that hate me back. I mean, it's just Jesus, you know, it's that simple.
Yep.
You know, he loves people and he lives in my heart, so he loves people. And if I just get out of my own way, then he loves them through me.
Yeah.
So I just try to stay out of my own way.
Yeah.
So it was my wife's birthday. We went to Colorado just Breckenridge for the weekend, and we decided to go have, you know, some Italian food for her birthday. And we're sitting at this restaurant called Sauce on the Maggie, and our waitress comes over. She's, you know, she's pleasant. You know, early on in the meal, I leaned over to Lonnie. I was like, man, did you get the sense that lady's kind of lost hope recently? She seems just kind of hollow inside. We go through the meal, and it's not going away. There's this whisper in my ear that's like, she's lost hope. She's lost hope. I just kind of hear this wait in my mind. It just says wait. I'm like, all right. So I do. I'm just kind of chilling. We're having a meal. The wait turns to now. He's like, now. But I looked on the receipt, and her name was Laureen. I said, Laureen. I said, this is going to sound weird, but I was like, have you recently lost hope? Of course, my eyes are tearing up, you know, and she tears up and kind of starts bawling uncontrollably right there. And she's like, I totally have lost hope recently. I moved here from Denver. I thought things were going to be different, but everything just followed me here. And I looked at her and I was like, look, there's something you need to know. I was like, there's hope in Jesus. And I kind of thought that was the end of it. You know, we said hi, bye, and that was it. Sunday morning, I wake up and Lonnie, you know, we're sitting there playing with Sawyer and stuff. And I was like, hey, we should go to church today. I was like, let's just find a church in Breckenridge. So we find a little Methodist church and we go and we sit down. After we sat down, I'd locked eyes with this lady that was maybe 4 or 5 rows over. And I smiled and she smiled back. And immediately after that, I kind of turned to go back to what I'm doing, just looking at the pastor. And I kind of have one of those urgings of the Spirit again. It's just like, you got to go tell that lady that story and ask her to follow up. And I'm like, the pastor goes, well, now we'd like everybody to stand up and go say hi to everybody. I was like, okay. So I make my way, shaking hands and saying hi to about 10 people. And I get over to her, I tap her on the shoulder, and she turns around. I was like, I'm sorry, this is going to sound a little strange, but I met a lady named Laureen last night. She was a waitress at Sauce on the Maggie. Do you know the restaurant? She was like, yeah, I know the restaurant. I was like, I need you to go talk to her. She's like, what? I was like, she had lost hope. I was like, she needs somebody to come alongside her and be her friend. More than anything, she needs a friend, but she also just needs a shepherd. She needs somebody to, she looks moved. And she's like, I know that restaurant. I'll go talk to her. I just, I bought in, man. I buy in every morning. You know, prayers are like two-way channels. You know, if somebody's praying to God, you might be the other person. It goes up to God, he sends it down to you, and somehow you guys get put together. It's like a two-way radio. I just trying to listen. When people cry out to God, it may not even be the God that we know in the Bible, because they've never read it maybe. Yeah. He listens. He extends common grace to those who cry out to him. Yep. If we who know him scripturally and truly follow Christ are tuned in enough that when they cry out, God sends us to those people right then. That's what I've been experiencing. Yep. And that's awesome. Yep. That's wonder and that's awe. So the idea of baptism and just literally just dying to me and living in Christ is just something that I couldn't shake. Yeah. You know, I gotta be honest, I'm ready to raise a white flag of surrender and be done with me. Yeah. Yeah. That is the biggest reason. Yep. I'm just, me doesn't work out. Yeah. I need less me and more Jesus.